Okay, I want to get a couple different videos out. This one is going to be looking at Heretic's Fork, and then tomorrow hopefully I can do one on God of Weapons. Just two quickish, thoughts first impressions videos if you haven't already checked out these games. Heretic's Fork is an interesting one. It's a genre fusion between roguelike deck building and tower defense with a sprinkle of auto battler on top. That is absolutely the most compelling part of the game to me. The genre fusion means this is probably something you haven't played too much of before, and as you continue to play, you'll learn more and more about how all the elements interact. There's also a meta-narrative in Heretic's Fork that's being told to you through the demonic version of Clippy, the Microsoft Office assistant from way back. The fact that I know of Clippy probably dates me a little bit. Either way, the narrative is bolstered by a bunch of unique interactive elements on the kind of desktop, acting as a hub. You can access files, emails, and other interactive elements to immerse you into this sinister role that you play. As far as I've played, the narrative hasn't had an impact on my time actually playing the game yet. That's why I've put that I've only played 6.7 hours in the title, so you guys know that I haven't experienced everything on offer here, and the story may eventually play a role in changing the gameplay loop, but for the moment, it hasn't. To be honest, I don't know if I want it to shift up the gameplay at all. I'm not sure I'm down to have the gameplay be intruded on by the narrative, and potentially have that taint a pretty solid gameplay experience. So I'm totally down to be fed lore and story after every game, just through emails and demonic Clippy. When it comes to the runs themselves, there are a few important layers to go over. Unfortunately, the tutorial is kind of shallow, and the game doesn't give you other opportunities to learn about the mechanics outside of the tutorial or learning about them yourself naturally, which is actually pretty bad considering some of the hidden mechanics are quite crucial. Things like if your deck is under 13 cards, then it will be filled with more rocks, but that won't happen if it's over 13 cards. There's a message in the tutorial that says you'll figure the rest out, or something to that effect, which actually hurts this game more than anything, as you need to know at least some of the fundamentals of how to actually manage your deck, and then the improvement comes from how you utilize those mechanics. This lack of help definitely hurt my initial runs before I had to look up YouTube videos for help. Anyway, the run consists of playing a few different types of cards, items, powers, actives, and then towers and garrisons. Towers and garrisons are the damage dealers, the towers being your guns and projectiles, with the garrisons being the ones that spawn minions. All the other types of cards are there to help you in various other ways through percentage increases in damage or active abilities being used on the battlefield. This is certainly not the video where I explain how everything works, but I will give my thoughts on the important aspects of the game. The tower creation and upgrading is reminiscent of how units or towers are upgraded in other games like TFT by combining towers of the same quality to make a better one. In this context, it means something similar too. You'll need to be conscious of having to upgrade your towers, and this means keeping cards in your deck for that reason, or choosing specific cards in the draft. I enjoyed this system a lot, and its inclusion in the deck building part of the game is integrated smoothly. I also like that upgrading towers is a choice you'll have to seriously consider, as some of the time one legendary tower could be weaker than two purple quality towers, and of course this means you'll need to prepare by having towers on backup ready to go in as soon as that slot opens up once those towers have been combined. The system isn't jarring, and it's not hard to learn either. It's just engaging enough to keep you on your toes about being prepared and knowing what's going on in your deck. The deck building in this game is one of the more unique takes on that genre that I've seen. Over the course of the run, you'll be offered cards by filling up the bar on the right hand side of your screen and by completing stages, also on the right hand side of your screen. You can also add cards to your deck by sacrificing two cards of the same rarity to create a random one of a higher rarity. This sacrifice system is necessary since you won't always be offered cards you want, and you will need to sacrifice cards to have a chance at upgrading not only your towers, but the cards in your deck too. This is a persistently engaging deck building system, and with the ability to banish cards, it means that you have agency over the way your deck looks. I've played a good number of deck builders now, and by far the most enjoyable ones are the ones that let you have full or close to full control over how your deck is built. In Heretic's Fork, it is on the messier side of things, but still maintains player agency as its core mechanic, giving this game a big boost over some others in the genre. Your deck will require maintenance over the run, as sacrifices do need to be made, but it never fully loses focus on giving you choice. The last core system is progression, which in Heretic's Fork comes in the form of challenges that need to be completed to unlock cards, and then promotions that can be bought, unlocking a single card. And then of course you can hire other characters with their unique playstyle, and you'll be progressing through the story as well. Progression in this game is something I don't want to critique or fully judge yet. I haven't completed the game and have yet to unlock the admin lock, which I'm sure will have a much bigger effect on the game than anything else I'm doing. I'm going to assume there's some more progression later down the line, but for now I'm satisfied with what I have, and the challenges are a much better way of doing progression than having some generic upgrade system or skill tree, at least in this context. For now, the progression is doing a good job enticing me to come back to the game, which is really all I can ask for. And then there's some final things I want to mention before I leave you. First, this is a game where the runs start out a little slow. Once you start gaining that momentum, however, this is a game that picks up toward the end game and really provides that hit of dopamine you're looking for as all these enemies fall around your impenetrable defenses. It really does become quite satisfying, but it'll take that careful building of your deck to get get there. There are for sure some quality of life things that could be addressed. The main one I've found is that I can't tab out of my card draft selection to look at the setup I currently have. For example, as a new player, I want to see what kind of modifiers affect what kind of towers, as I'm choosing my cards, but I don't have that ability. When it comes to the art style, obviously it looks very appropriate for the setting. I'm not a huge fan of the animations. I don't think they're as smooth as they can be, and you could argue that some more detailed or sparkly effects are also missing, but we're not out here looking for that kind of thing in a game like this, and it certainly hasn't affected my enjoyment at all. The best art direction in this game is for sure the desktop. This is such a cool way to do like a hub world thing, and not only does it fit for the narrative, but it's also great to utilize as a player as well. Lastly, the music in this game is crazy, and the songs on offer range from appropriately crazy rock songs to heavy synthwave bangers. It's great, and I would highly recommend listening to as many as you can. Those are my quick first impressions of Heretic's Fork after just 6.7 hours. There is so much more detail in this game, but as I'm only so far in, I can only provide my initial thoughts. Maybe I'll do a deeper video down the line, but for now, can I recommend it? Well, if you're looking for a deck builder because you don't have one to play, yeah, I think this will satisfy you for a good while. I can't say that I choose this over Monster Train or Slay the Spire if you're choosing which one to spend the money on, but it does stand by itself as a compelling fusion of genres I've played every single day since I bought it. Alright, Twitter, Twitch, subscribe, have a great day, and I'll see you later.